What's good, Polly? Gang, 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 gang. It's your boy, KeeSeeY. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing another Elvis Presley video reaction. This time it's to A Generous for Heart. I said generous for heart. A generous heart. Boy, I tell y'all, sometimes my accent is the best of me. Sometimes my words be messing with me. It's like I have dyslexia, but I don't. I don't have it at all. So no, don't quote me on that. If you do, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to make funny. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, y'all. But anyway, let's just jump into the video. This is like, I guess, a mini documentary about Elvis. I'm not entirely sure. I know this is a video about Elvis. It's not a music video or none of that. It's more so about just him being generous, him being a nice guy. I know he was giving away a lot of stuff to people. He did stuff for people. I've never watched this video before, so I'm excited just to jump in, hear a few more stuff about Elvis that I didn't know about him and I haven't heard about him yet. So let's just watch it. Hey, the man was sharp and fly. That's one thing I can say. He could dress. He always had a nice jewelry on. That's one thing I like about Elvis. He always looked good. That's one thing I can say.
We were in Jackson, Mississippi, and he got word that a little boy in the hospital was dying, and that he wanted to see Elvis, and he couldn't make it to the show. He was too sick to get to the show, and so. We loaded up in cars and we went to the hospital. And Elvis was wearing, Elvis met this little boy and talked to him, and he was wearing a cross that was made of garnets. And he took it off and he gave it to this child. And it was a real touching moment, just an hour or so before the show.
When my wife was, 9 or 10, and her sister was maybe a couple years older than that, they would go down to Graceland and in the hopes of seeing Elvis. And they would go down there almost every weekend, Saturday or Sunday, and many times he would actually come down to the gate and shake hands and talk to people, and he did it often. Sometimes he did it by himself. Sandra remembers one time he actually came down riding a horse and was talking to him, and that just made their day, you know, and it just, again, shows the type of person that he is, that he would do that.
When Elvis started...
It's incredible already. I'm already in just like the first minute of the video, just off of what that first guy had said about Elvis. I mean, it was like kind of like Make-A-Wish is kind of what I see it as. Before Make-A-Wish was a thing. I don't know if it was a thing back in that day, those times, but man, it was crazy what he did for that child that was going through that illness, and I'm pretty sure that made a child's day. Hopefully the child's doing alive and well now. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but that hit me close to the heart, because I know a lot of kids, a lot of people, well, not a lot, I know a few people that's, you know, had sickness as a kid. Some have grown older and they still live with it, but they've grown out of it, you know. They've done better. I have family, like a family member that went through something like that. And, you know, he went through the Make-A-Wish and all that stuff, and I'm glad that they provide that for those children, because I can't imagine going through that at that young of an age, going through any sickness, any illness. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of us have been sick before. I've been sick. I've had surgeries and stuff like that, like bodily surgeries, you know. And, I mean, that itself takes a lot to go through. But imagine going through like a serious illness like cancer or any of that stuff that I don't wish upon anyone, especially at that young of an age. And I just can't imagine it for him. So Elvis did a great job for that. And man, that's...
getting that money in and started becoming, he wanted to share it. He was a sharing person. And his dad got in early confrontations with him about giving so much away. He would say, son, you know, we're pretty wealthy, but man, you're giving people houses. And you're giving guys on television you don't even know Cadillacs, and people walk off the street in a dealership, you buy them a Cadillac, and pretty soon the bank account is going to take a hit. And Elvis would say, look, Dad, he said, look, I enjoy giving stuff away to people. He said, that's how I get my enjoyment. He said, I can go out and do a tour. He said, I can do a tour in 6 weeks and make $2 million. He said, I'm not worried about money. He said, I want to make people happy.
For all of Elvis Presley's accomplishments, I think his greatest joy, other than Lisa Marie, was giving to others. He loved to see the smiles and the looks on people's faces when he gave them things. He really was a generous and kind man.
The true measure of a man's success is not what he achieves and acquires for himself in his lifetime, but what of himself he gives to others.
Wow.
Elvis Presley touched the lives of millions and millions of people the world over. With his music, his movies, and his live performances, Elvis brought joy to the hearts of people everywhere. And even today, over 3 decades after his untimely death, Elvis's music and his legacy continue to have a lasting and profound impact on music and popular culture around the world. And yet, for all Elvis's phenomenal success as an entertainer, perhaps the King's most endearing quality and the greatest of his legacies was his enormous generosity to others who were less fortunate than he was.
I always felt like he tried to give back to his fans more than he took from them. And whenever he gave a piece of jewelry away on the stage, when he take off a ring and hand it to a fan, it was just an act of love on his part. He just loved his fans, and they're what made him work, and why he worked so hard was his fans. He loved his.
And I'm glad that he did that, because if you think about it, anyone that gets big, it's mainly like, of course, like that person must be entertaining to watch, or there's something about that person that draws people like me and people like you into that person. They must be entertaining. They must be a nice person. Like I said, there's something about them that people like to watch about them. But I mean, like, your fans really make you become that big at that part of your life, especially Elvis. You know, the thing about Elvis, he was talented. He had a talent, he had a charisma, he had the charm, the looks, the voice, he had everything. And I mean, his fans are what built him up there, because, you know, if you don't have fans with any popular singer, any artist, any famous celebrity right now, if you don't have fans that support you and build you up to that level, then you don't achieve that. You don't become that. The only people that can become that are like business people, and the only way they can, but they still need their fans will be their buyers, because they like the product that they're selling. You know what I mean? So it's still like you have people that are supporting you. And the thing for Elvis is that, like he said, him giving away to his fans the things that he can give to them is what made him feel joy in life. And I think that was important, just to put a smile on other people's faces. Honestly, I think that could be taught in any type of life lesson. Let's just say you don't even have that much money. You're not the wealthiest person. Maybe not giving away things is what you can do. But like I said, just putting a smile on someone's face. Maybe telling them a funny joke. You know what I'm saying? Maybe just telling them hi. Maybe saying, hey, you look good today. I like that dress. Give them a compliment. I mean, the little things like that is what makes people be people, make us be us. I think that's what everyone's hitting at right now about Elvis. It's just the little things, not the big things.
Fans.
We had a guy in a group named Richard Davis, who was kind of he'd been with Elvis, he'd been in the Memphis Mafia, he'd been Elvis' stand-in in a bunch of his movies, Memphis guy, was a record promoter, and he was down on his luck. And Elvis heard about it, and he sent for him. He said, Richard, I hear you down on your luck. And holidays were approaching. He said, yeah, Elvis. Elvis gave him a brand new Cadillac convertible and $10,000 cash. So maybe
$10,000.
And he said, thanks a lot, Elvis.
On March 25th,
And $10,000 back then is probably worth what? I was about to say, to me, I'm thinking like $100,000 now. $10,000 back then is probably worth $100,000 now. I'm not sure how much that's worth now, but I know that was a lot of money back then. So he pretty much made that guy wealthy. I know that guy probably didn't have to. He probably did work, but he probably didn't have to work another day in his life after that if he didn't want to. And with the Cadillac.
1961, Elvis performed a benefit concert at the Block Arena at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. This performance raised over $65,000 toward the building of the USS Arizona Memorial, which was completed the following year. This donation made Elvis Presley the single biggest individual donor to the Pearl Harbor Memorial. In 1975, at a concert in Asheville, North Carolina, Elvis went on stage wearing a huge opal and diamond ring on his finger. This ring was reportedly worth between $35,000 and $40,000. During the concert, Elvis saw a little girl in the front row who was sitting in a wheelchair. He took the ring off his finger and gave it to the little girl. There was no publicity about this, just the enormous satisfaction that Elvis got from seeing the look on the little girl's face. Elvis...
Wow, I'm from North Carolina, so that's great to hear. But what? My goodness, that... I don't even know what to say about that. That's great to just hear about. I wonder if that little girl is still in North Carolina. She probably tells that story to everyone. She's probably said that multiple times over and over. I hope she's still alive today, but I know she's told that story.
Reportedly bought close to $700,000 worth of jewelry in the last 5 years of his life, most of which he gave away.
I was sitting by the stage, and he came over to me and he says, he leaned over and he says, "Where's your case?" And he's up there singing, you know, "Where's your case?" And I said, "It's right here." He said, "Set it up here." I set my case up on the stage, and he just got jewelry out of it, and he was giving it to people on the people on the front row and he was just giving away all this jewelry. The difference in Elvis and everyone else was that he obviously loved his fans. He was so honest. You just didn't doubt that he was pure as a driven snow. He was just a good person, and people knew that. His fans knew that.
Elvis's great spirit of generosity, giving, and compassion for those less fortunate than him lives on to this day. Former wife Priscilla Presley and daughter Lisa Marie Presley continue Elvis's philanthropy and honor his memory through the Elvis Presley Foundation. The foundation supports charities and community programs such as Presley Place, which provides homeless families up to 1 year of rent-free housing, child daycare, career and financial counseling, family management guidance, and other assistance to help people regain their independence and self-esteem. In 1983, the Elvis Presley Memorial Trauma Center was established at the Regional Medical Center in Memphis. It has served over 80,000 Level 1 trauma patients from a 6-state area. Indeed, there is no greater gift one person can give another in this world than to give of himself. And for all Elvis has given the world through his incredible body of work, his greatest legacy to his millions and millions of fans was his kindness and his generous heart.
He liked to see the enjoyment, because when a guy gives you a new Cadillac or gives you a house or gives you a free trip to Hawaii, you become elated, and that made him feel good. He didn't play golf, he didn't fish, he didn't hunt, all that stuff. And to give stuff away and make people happy, that's what he enjoyed.
You know I can be found sitting no more alone.
I don't think I've heard this song yet.
Come around, at least please telephone. Don't be cruel.
That's the next song to react to, but man, just this video in general. Like I said, I don't think there was anything in this video that I haven't learned. Like I didn't know anything about any of this stuff that he gave away. I've heard about other stuff that he's given to people, but all of the stuff that was mentioned in this video is brand new to me. I know about the ring that he had gave to that girl, the thing he had did for that kid, and just like the jewelry. He just brought a bunch of jewelry in a box and just handed it out to people on the front row, which is just, like he said, the guy said he was kind. He loved putting a smile on people's faces. And that's why I could see why so many of you guys love Elvis. It's not just his music. It was about the person that he was. And that's great about him. It's great just hearing a lot of this stuff about him and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie. If I was on that front row, I'd have been like, "Hey, let me have that." hey, you know, hey, he's giving away free jewelry. I'd have got the autograph and everything. Elvis jewelry, selling it. But no, this was a great video in all seriousness. I enjoyed it a lot. And I'm excited to hear more stuff like this. So far, like I love this music, but I love hearing stuff about the person. That's the stuff that I like hearing as well. So videos like this, the interviews, the full life of Elvis is what draws me more into him. So when I listen to his music, it's like, wow, he was great here, but like he himself was even better. And that's what I like to see about Elvis in general. But anyway, on that note, it's your boy KeeSeeY. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, please subscribe, like the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Cause yo, Poly gang, Poly Squad, we out.